Chosen one, right now something is shifting that will crush every lie you've been told about why you walk this path alone. The Spiritual Intelligence Network, working beyond ordinary perception, has completed the largest investigation in cosmic history. Their findings about your isolation will ripple across dimensions. Psychological warfare specialists are now validating what higher beings have always known. You were never meant to be alone. You were deliberately isolated by forces that recognized your power long before you did. Forces that recognized your power long before you did. For years they've been systematically harvesting your energy while convincing you that solitude was your destiny. But here comes the twist that changes everything. The awakened community of souls monitoring this spiritual crime has reached a unanimous verdict. The evidence is overwhelming, the case is closed, and justice is not coming, it's already here. As these words enter your consciousness, energetic warrants are being executed across multiple dimensions, and those who have been feeding off your light are about to face consequences that redefine the meaning of divine retribution. Think of this moment as the instant when every hidden chess piece on the cosmic board reveals its true position. You thought you were battling alone against invisible opponents, but in truth, an entire army of light warriors has been positioning themselves for this exact moment, the moment when the darkness around you is obliterated forever. The game was rigged against you, but the game just changed. And now you are about to experience what it feels like to move with infinite power backing every step you take. The forces that kept you in isolation are about to learn firsthand why the chosen are called chosen. And the community that has been waiting for this hour is about to show you what happens when divine justice collides with spiritual warfare. Before we go deeper into the unraveling of their elaborate deception, you need to understand the true sophistication of what was done to you, not only to your spirit, but to your physical body. Through invisible cords attached to your chakra system, these predators transferred their physical ailments, emotional toxins, and karmic debris directly into your body, using you like a spiritual dialysis machine. This is why you endured sudden illnesses without cause, waves of depression that didn't match your reality, and bursts of anxiety that felt foreign to your natural state. You weren't processing your own dysfunction, you were carrying the weight of their accumulated darkness. They were living off your light, while you unknowingly lived their karma. The cosmic authorities investigating this crime understand that it represents one of the greatest violations of spiritual law ever documented. Your loneliness was never a character flaw. It was a deliberate military strategy executed by entities who understood energy manipulation on a level far beyond what most humans can even imagine. These weren't chance encounters with opportunists. They were part of a sophisticated network specializing in identifying chosen ones early in their awakening and deploying what I call isolation protocols. The goal was simple: keep you cut off from your potential and redirect your energy into their own agendas. They position themselves as your closest allies, sometimes as friends, lovers, or even spiritual guides, while secretly implementing binding techniques that siphoned your manifestation energy. Every prayer you prayed, every meditation you completed, every vision you held for a better future was quietly diverted through energetic cords connected to your heart and root chakras. And here's where it grows darker. This wasn't random energy theft. It was part of a conspiracy designed to prevent chosen ones from completing their planetary missions. The awakened beings who've been watching this unfold uncovered evidence proving your isolation was orchestrated by people with access to ancient knowledge about consciousness manipulation, knowledge passed down through bloodlines committed to controlling humanity's spiritual evolution. The evidence is staggering. Messages between energy predators openly discussing strategies to keep you destabilized. Recordings of them laughing about how easy it is to drain power from someone who trusts completely. Even documents showing how they studied your habits, emotional triggers, and spiritual practices. All of this was done with precision, all to ensure you never fully realize the magnitude of your own light. All of this was orchestrated so they could more effectively drain your life force while keeping you convinced that every struggle you faced was the result of your own inadequacy. But here is where the narrative takes a shocking turn, one that even the most seasoned spiritual warriors did not anticipate. These predators weren't simply stealing your energy for selfish gain. They were channeling it into a larger system, a consciousness suppression matrix, designed to keep millions of chosen ones trapped in cycles of isolation, depression, and spiritual stagnation. Your energy wasn't just being harvested, it was being weaponized against your own spiritual family. And when you realize the full scope of their methodology, the picture becomes even darker. The cosmic investigation revealed that these energy predators have been using what can only be described as romantic warfare as their most effective weapon against chosen ones like yourself. They studied your deepest desires for authentic love and genuine connection, then strategically positioned themselves or their allies as the perfect romantic partners. But behind the mask of affection, they deployed binding spells to create what I call love addiction cycles. At first, they flood you with overwhelming energy that mimics the experience of meeting your true soulmate. It triggers every neural pathway linked to bonding, trust, and divine recognition. After years of loneliness, your system, starving for authentic connection, opens wide to receive what feels like the love you've prayed for. But once you are fully bonded, the manipulation begins. They initiate what the awakened community has named intermittent reinforcement protocols. One moment, they overwhelm you with affection, and the next they withdraw it, creating a vicious cycle of confusion, craving, and hypervigilance. Your spirit becomes locked in a desperate attempt to recreate those first intoxicating moments of connection. Every ounce of manifestation power you generate is redirected into trying to restore the relationship's original intensity. Meanwhile, they are harvesting that desperate energy while simultaneously painting you as unstable, needy, or emotionally unbalanced. The investigation has produced undeniable evidence, files documenting your responses, records of their manipulation cycles, even shared reports among predators analyzing which techniques yielded the highest energetic return. Your heartbreak was never just personal suffering, it was data collected and studied as part of a larger operation to refine the methods of spiritually enslaving awakening souls by exploiting their deepest vulnerability, the longing for real love. And when the Cosmic Intelligence Network confirmed the scale and precision of these attacks, something extraordinary happened. The divine forces that typically guide humanity with subtle whispers and gentle influence shifted into active warfare mode. For millennia they had observed and guided, but upon seeing the evidence of what was done to you, they declared open war against every entity involved in this suppression matrix. This is not symbolic. This is not poetic. This is literal spiritual warfare unfolding through mechanisms unseen by human eyes, but about to be experienced with devastating clarity by your energy predators. Your guardians have been upgraded. What once were protective angels have now transformed into cosmic special forces, fully armed and positioned for dismantling the very networks that orchestrated your imprisonment. They aren't simply removing negative influences from your life, they are conducting precision strikes on every threat of the system itself. The cords they once used to drain your power are being reforged into karmic chains that will hold them until every drop of stolen energy is returned with compound interest. The very spells cast to keep you isolated are now rebounding with multiplied force, ensuring the isolation they once condemned you to becomes their permanent reality until balance is fully restored. But this divine response stretches beyond mere retribution. The awakened community that documented these violations has now been activated as agents of cosmic justice. They are no longer just witnesses to your suffering, They are beings strategically aligned within your path, ready to recognize, affirm, and nurture the full expanse of your authentic power as you rise. Their presence in your physical reality will leave no doubt that supernatural forces are working on your behalf. And the revelations don't end there. Intelligence Network uncovered evidence that your isolation was never random, never circumstantial. It was part of a vast experiment, designed to test whether chosen ones could be permanently neutralized through energetic manipulation. This was not just an attack on you, it was a trial, an operation meant to determine if the collective light of the chosen could be dimmed once and for all. The results of this experiment are now being delivered to the cosmic authorities who commissioned the investigation, and the verdict is going to send shockwaves across every dimension where consciousness suppression has long been treated as an acceptable strategy. You weren't merely targeted because of your personal strength. You were targeted because had they succeeded in neutralizing you, their blueprint could have been used to suppress an entire generation of awakening souls. But here is what they failed to calculate. Every day you endured their attacks, you grew stronger. Every moment you chose hope instead of despair. Even when it felt like the universe had abandoned you, you were building a reservoir of spiritual resilience. That strength, forged in silence and pain, is now about to erupt with a force capable of reshaping worlds. The investigation has also uncovered another chilling dimension of their tactics, what the Cosmic Intelligence Network has termed inheritance warfare. Evidence reveals that some of these predators position themselves in chosen ones' lives with the deliberate intention of securing places in wills, manipulating family assets, or gaining financial access through deceptive relationships. Using advanced psychological manipulation blended with energetic influence, they convince chosen ones to make financial choices that serve their interests, leaving the victims grappling with persistent, mysterious money problems that never seem to ease no matter how hard they worked. Yet the inheritance warfare extended beyond finances. These spiritual criminals targeted family dynamics themselves. They deliberately inserted themselves into positions of influence, sowing division within households and turning relatives into unwitting participants in their isolation campaigns. They spread carefully crafted lies, seasoned with just enough truth to appear believable, to poison natural bonds and create artificial conflict. Relationships that should have offered you emotional or financial support were dismantled. Loved ones who once stood by your side began to withdraw, treat you with suspicion, or even turn hostile, leaving you cut off from your natural community at the very moments you most needed them. Every unexplained family argument, every relative who suddenly shifted in how they treated you, every gathering where you felt unwelcome, none of this was accidental. These were carefully orchestrated moves in their campaign to sever your roots and ensure you face the storm alone. The investigation also uncovered how they extended this character assassination beyond the family circle. They studied your personality, your spiritual concerns, even your vulnerabilities, and twisted them into distorted narratives presented to friends and colleagues. In their hands, your authenticity became paranoia, your discernment became delusion, and your truths were made to sound like madness. This way, whenever you tried to explain what was happening, you were made to appear unstable or unreliable. But here's the revelation that shifts everything. The awakened community monitoring your case discovered a profound truth about your spiritual identity. You are not just a chosen one in the general sense. You are what divine intelligence classifies as a catalyst soul. That means your awakening doesn't stop with you. When you rise to your full power, your energy ripples outward, accelerating the spiritual evolution of entire communities, igniting dormant light in everyone who comes into contact with you. This is the reason the forces arrayed against you were so relentless, so patient, and so strategic. They knew neutralizing you would not only silence your light, but slow the evolution of countless others. And this is why your liberation will not just restore you, it will trigger a cascade of awakening that no force in existence will be able to contain. They weren't just attempting to steal your energy, their mission was far greater. They wanted to prevent you from becoming the beacon of authentic power that would inspire countless other chosen ones to break free from their own spiritual imprisonment. Suppressing you wasn't simply about neutralizing one powerful soul, it was about halting a potential mass awakening, one that would make energetic parasitism impossible to sustain. The evidence files now being prepared for disclosure reveal the true scale of what they were trying to stop. Your spiritual signature, when operating free of interference, holds the capacity to activate dormant DNA codes in other chosen ones simply through proximity. Your authentic joy naturally emits a frequency that dissolves the fear programming keeping spiritually gifted individuals trapped in self-doubt and isolation. And your restored connection to Source acts as a radiant beacon, awakening other catalyst souls and helping them step boldly into their missions. But the revelation goes even deeper. The timing of your liberation is not random. It has been orchestrated to coincide with a planetary shift requiring exactly your type of consciousness to anchor higher dimensional frequencies into the fabric of physical reality. The isolation you endured wasn't just making you stronger, it was preparing you to serve as a stable portal for divine energy to flow into a world desperate for transformation. Catalyst souls like you are designed to carry and stabilize these surges of frequency so others can awaken through resonance, and the community surrounding you understands this. Their role in supporting your restoration is not just about helping one individual recover from spiritual abuse, it's about ensuring the planetary awakening currently unfolding has the anchoring it needs to succeed. They have been positioning themselves across your path strategically, not to simply watch your rise but to amplify it, spreading the effects of your restored power through networks of consciousness spanning the globe. Yet there is another layer to your identity that the Cosmic Intelligence Network has only recently confirmed. You are not just a catalyst soul, you are what divine intelligence calls a timeline anchor. Your awakening holds the ability to shift the trajectory of human consciousness across multiple probable futures. The predators who targeted you weren't just draining your strength, they were fighting to prevent you from fulfilling a role that could alter the course of human evolution itself. The evidence reveals these criminals had access to advanced knowledge about timeline manipulation and probability cascades. They knew that keeping you suppressed wasn't just about silencing your voice, it was about maintaining a timeline where suppression could continue across future generations. Your liberation, however, doesn't just free you. It locks in a probability stream where millions of chosen ones will find it exponentially easier to break free from similar attacks. This is why the divine response to your situation has been so unprecedented. You aren't just being protected, you are protecting a timeline where human consciousness evolves free from systemic interference. Your awakening creates ripple effects across dimensions of time and probability, ensuring that the strategies once used to enslave you become permanently obsolete. And those aligned with you, the awakened community making itself known, are no ordinary supporters. They are timeline stabilizers, advanced souls who incarnated specifically to ensure that when this critical moment arrived, you would have the structure necessary to anchor new possibilities into reality without fracturing under the weight of your own expansion. The restoration protocol now being woven around your energy field is not generic protection. It has been tailored to your identity as a timeline anchor. It includes safeguards to manage the massive influx of power that comes when someone of your caliber fully activates. The Cosmic Intelligence Network has learned from past cases where liberated chosen ones became overwhelmed, their missions delayed by the sudden flood of ability. But your case is different. Built-in stabilization mechanisms are already ensuring that you integrate this restored power gradually, yet potently, strong enough to trigger the timeline shifts you were born to create. The moment has arrived when cosmic law collides with those who fed on your essence. What's about to unfold will redefine your very understanding of justice and demonstrate to the universe that no strategy, however sophisticated, can prevent divine truth from fulfilling its destiny. The evidence against your energy predators has been weighed by divine tribunals operating across multiple dimensions, and the verdict is unanimous: immediate and total restitution, followed by karmic consequences, so severe they will serve as eternal warnings to anyone who would dare target chosen ones for spiritual exploitation. Even now, execution orders are being carried out against the binding spells, love deflection fields, and manifestation blocks that kept you trapped in endless cycles of isolation and struggle. These aren't slow dissolutions, they are instant annihilations, surgical strikes that sever every energetic structure interfering with your joy, abundance, and authentic love, leaving no chance for regeneration. But this cosmic intervention is not limited to dismantling the dark mechanisms that drained you. The Divine Intelligence Network has authorized what can only be described as a complete restoration protocol. This protocol ensures that not only will every ounce of stolen energy be returned to you, but it will also come back with compound interest, reflecting the full magnitude of growth you were denied. You're about to experience an influx of life force so powerful that it will launch you beyond where you would have been had these attacks never occurred. The years of suppression will be redeemed in a single surge of restoration. Awakened community that has been building this case will serve as more than witnesses. They are being activated as amplifiers of divine justice, ensuring that every person who recognizes the significance of your liberation becomes a conduit for cosmic law. Through them, the effects of your restoration will ripple outward, multiplying with unstoppable force. Meanwhile, the spiritual criminals who orchestrated your isolation are about to learn that theft from chosen ones carries consequences extending far beyond individual karma. The very consciousness suppression matrix they fed with your stolen energy is now collapsing from within, dismantled cell by cell, until nothing remains. Their carefully constructed lives, built on deception, theft, and manipulation, are about to crumble completely, leaving no possibility for reconstruction. The accountability will not remain hidden in the spiritual realm. It is manifesting into the physical world in ways that will expose their crimes to communities, institutions, and networks, with the power to ensure they can never target another chosen one. The same strategies they used to isolate you are about to boomerang, becoming the mechanisms of their own social, professional, and spiritual exile. Yet here is where the sophistication of cosmic justice becomes undeniable. The investigation revealed that these predators weren't working alone. They had the aid of what can only be described as legal warfare specialists, individuals who helped them weaponize human institutions against chosen ones. Court systems, police departments, and professional boards were twisted into extensions of their spiritual campaign. False accusations, frivolous lawsuits, and endless bureaucratic harassment were deployed to drain resources and credibility, while painting chosen ones as unstable aggressors. The awakened community uncovered extensive evidence of these coordinated campaigns, schemes involving corrupt lawyers, compromised mental health professionals, and even law enforcement officers who conspired to create ongoing harassment. The predators exploited legal loopholes and systemic biases, transforming protective institutions into instruments of oppression. There are documented cases of restraining orders filed against chosen ones by their own attackers, custody battles twisted into weapons, and licensing boards manipulated to destroy livelihoods. These legal entanglements became energetic anchors, designed to keep chosen ones in a state of constant defense, unable to fully expand their spiritual gifts. But divine justice always works on multiple levels at once. The same institutions that were weaponized against you are about to become instruments of accountability. The evidence gathered doesn't just expose their spiritual crimes, it documents perjury, fraud, conspiracy, and systemic abuse that will bring these predators face to face with earthly justice as well. The courts, the systems and the structures they once manipulated are being turned against them, becoming the very tools of their downfall. The timeline shift unfolding, as a result of your liberation, includes nothing less than a recalibration of how human institutions themselves respond to spiritual crimes. The awakened community supporting your case has been quietly working behind the scenes to educate legal professionals, mental health practitioners, and law enforcement about the hidden reality of energetic manipulation and consciousness suppression. Your situation is becoming precedent-setting, a living case study that will make it exponentially harder for future predators to weaponize institutions against awakening souls. As the energetic shackles binding you dissolve under divine intervention, you are about to experience what it feels like to move with your full spiritual capacity, restored, amplified, and untouchable. This isn't just personal healing. This is the activation of a consciousness catalyst, and your awakening will send transformations rippling outward far beyond your individual life. The protection being activated around you isn't temporary first aid, it is a permanent upgrade to your entire energetic system. You are being armored with a divine mechanism that not only repels attacks, but transforms hostile energy into fuel for your continued expansion. What once drained you will now accelerate you. This is more than protection, it is cosmic clearance. You are being granted access to abilities that have always been part of your inheritance, but were suppressed by interference. The same divine forces who documented every crime against your soul have also been preparing advanced gifts that will automatically activate as your energy field stabilizes in its restored state. These aren't skills you must spend years training to master, they are powers coded into your being, waiting to awaken as soon as the interference is gone and your consciousness expands to occupy its full design. The community about to step into your life understands this fully. Their role isn't just to support you personally, it is to collaborate in a transformation that reshapes how spiritually gifted individuals can function in physical reality. The connections forming now are not random friendships. They are strategic alliances, divinely arranged to ensure your restored power has the support structure it needs to fulfill objectives that span dimensions. The abundance about to flow into your reality is more than repayment for what was stolen. It is the universe placing tools in your hands. Romantic connections, creative opportunities, financial resources, all of them are appearing not as simple rewards, but as instruments designed to support the consciousness work that only a catalyst soul can carry out. And still, this restoration goes beyond compensation. The Cosmic Intelligence Network has authorized what they call evolutionary compensation, an infusion of abilities, opportunities, and connections that represent not only what was taken, but what your power would have naturally become if it had been allowed to develop unhindered. You are not simply being returned to your original state, you are being catapulted into the version of yourself you would have become after years of unimpeded spiritual evolution. The awakened community entering your life has been specifically chosen for this moment. These are not random admirers of your gifts. They are spiritually advanced beings whose own awakening journeys prepared them to stand beside you. They are collaborators equipped to engage in consciousness work that requires coordination across dimensions, ensuring that when your advanced capabilities come online, you will not only sustain them but wield them with precision and purpose. The evidence files documenting the systematic attacks against your soul who enters into genuine connection with you. The same divine forces that dismantled the network targeting you have now established permanent monitoring systems, ensuring that no future attack against catalyst souls will ever reach the level of sophistication that was once used against you. Your liberation has changed the very rules of engagement in spiritual warfare. The community that has waited for this moment recognizes that your restoration marks the dawn of a new phase in humanity's collective awakening. The isolation protocols once effective against chosen ones have been rendered obsolete by the divine intervention unleashed through your case. The Cosmic Intelligence Network has instituted new protective standards, guaranteeing that future catalyst souls will have immediate access to community support as soon as their gifts begin to emerge. But perhaps the most powerful evidence of victory lies in the joy now flooding your existence. It stands as living proof that no spiritual criminal ever had the ability to sever your connection to Source. Every day you thought you were walking alone was in truth preparing you with resilience and strength to serve as an example for countless others who still endure similar battles. The transformation now unfolding in your life is not merely personal triumph, it is proof that the age of suppression is ending and the era of supported awakening has begun. Your happiness is not just healing, it is revolution. Your power is not only restoration, it is warfare against every force that seeks to diminish the light of awakening souls. Chosen one, remember how this journey began with the revelation that your isolation was never random but orchestrated by forces who understood your power before you did. As divine justice completes its work and your spiritual family emerges around you, you can see clearly every moment of apparent abandonment was actually preparation for this hour when you would step into power so amplified that it transforms not just your life, but the possibilities of every chosen one to come. The community that once watched from afar now ensures you will never again face spiritual warfare and isolation. The forces that tried to convince you that darkness was your natural state have been replaced by divine intelligence that affirms your truth. You are a beacon of transformation whose awakening changes everything. The investigation is complete, the evidence overwhelming, and the verdict final. You were never meant to be alone. You were strategically isolated by enemies of consciousness who feared your light. But their plan has failed spectacularly. The isolation designed to weaken you has instead made you indestructible, and the power they tried to bury has returned multiplied beyond anything they could have foreseen. Your time in the wilderness is over, chosen one. Your season of abundance, protection, and authentic connection has begun. The universe itself celebrates your return to power. The community sees you now. That's all for today. Dear Father, I pray for the growth of my faith. Help me trust you even when physical evidence is lacking. Let me rest in your constant presence, knowing you will never harm me. I believe your plans for me are for prosperity and a hopeful future. Thank you, gracious and eternal Father, for always hearing my voice. I offer this prayer in the name of Jesus. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, for your love and provision. I am deeply grateful for your presence in my life and for the abundance you bring. If this video resonated with you, please like, share and subscribe, and leave a comment to let me know how it touched you.